day one of our 31 days of Proverbs and Poor, aka 31 days of Proverbs. So, in scripture, in chapter one of Proverbs, the scripture that stood out to me is to fear the Lord as the beginning of wisdom. And that stood out to me because I always thought of fearing the Lord means like to be afraid, like to be even afraid to die because you don't know where you're going. But as a believer, knowing who God is, learning who He is, getting deeper with Him, building intimacy with Him, and opening up my heart and my mind to allow Him to show me who He is, not based on what other people introduce me of who God is or how God shows up for them, but to really see how God shows up for me, to see how God shows up for my family and the people around me. God has been so good. So, because I know this now and I know God for myself, and I'm still knowing God for myself, the fear of the Lord, the definition of it makes sense. We have the fear of, everyday fear of dying before our time or fear that something dangerous will happen to our spouse or our children. But to fear the Lord is to have reverence, to be in awe of Him, to be thankful and gracious that He is who He says He is. He is a promise keeper. He's a way maker. It's to respect Him, to know that you're living a life of discipline. You're living a life of integrity and obedience because you love Him, not afraid that you would die, but just to love Him because of who He is. So even in death, that He is with us. So that's the scripture I am standing on today to apply in my life, to apply in my day. Tell me what is yours and meet us on Bumble on Saturday at 7 p.m. as we break down Proverbs 1 to 7 and what God pour into us and what we pour into each other. And you can definitely go and post on there today saying what scripture stood out to you, because what stood out to me may not stood out to you, and what stood out to you may not stood out to me. So we're always here to learn something. Let's do it together. Okay. Love y'all. See y'all later.